Hello everyone, this is a video on how to compute descriptive statistics with Minitab. So I'm going to start with a small data set, and it works for a small data set or a big data set. So we're going to type in a few numbers in the Minitab. So 7, 9, 16, 36, 39, 45, 45, 46, 48, and 51. So I've typed everything in. If we have a larger data set that is in something like Excel, we could copy and paste those in. So we want to compute some statistics. So we're going to go to Stat, Basic Stats, Descriptive Statistics. I have stored everything in C1, so I'm going to double click on that. Notice C1 shows up here. And then I'm going to click Statistics. And under here, we can choose the statistics that we want to show. So I'm going to show mean, standard deviation, variance, median, minimum, maximum. We'll just go with those. Mode. And then we're going to hit OK. So here's everything. So it shows us the mean, standard deviation, variance, the minimum, the maximum, the median, the mode, and then it tells you how many items were in that mode. So the mode here was 45 and we had 2 items. If we had a bimodal set, so suppose we were to change this entry, maybe it was 36. Now we have a bimodal set, and if I were to compute that again, you'll see both modes show up here. So 36 and 45, it does show you both of them, and it tells you what n was. How many times did that number occur, in other words. So we'll do this again. I'm going to go to Triola's website. Just to pull another data set. Let's do bare measurements. There it goes. So here's my data set. Let's say I want to copy the weight column. You can see there's quite a few entries here. I'm just going to copy this. Go to Minitab and paste. And you can see that if I keep scrolling, you're going to see all of my data values there. So we're going to go to Stat, Basic Statistics, Descriptive Statistics. Now everything's in my weight column. I can choose the statistics I want to show, and I'm going to click OK. And here we are. So mean, standard deviation, variance, minimum, the median, the maximum. And then we see the modes here, and each one of those occurred twice. So we had 4 modes in this one. So one thing I do want you to caution you about is quartiles. Minitab does an algorithm for the quartiles. So if you were to try to find quartiles here, I'll go back to my stats, basic statistics, descriptive statistics. Let's go back to that first list here. The quartiles are going to be extremely different than what we would expect based on how Triola does this. So our quartile is going to look different here and here. Actually, let me just go back to the original data set. Let me type in 16 here. So we had 7, 9, 16, 36, 39. So there's our first 5 entries. And then we had 45, 45, 46, 48, and 51. So with Triola, you would take the data set and you would divide it in half, right? And you would find the median. So the median would live in between here, between 39 and 45, which is 42. And then Triola says that you're going to look at that top half of data, and then you're going to find the median of that. So median would be 16. And then for quartile 3, you would look at the lower half of data. So we're looking at these data entries, and you would find the median, which would be 46. Okay, but that's not what Minitab does. Minitab is actually using an algorithm to figure that out. So now the median stays the same. The median is the median regardless. It's always a number in the middle. So here's what Minitab does. It looks at the bottom 25% of data for quartile 1. And it says that we're going to take 1/4 times n plus 1. N is the number of items here. So 1/4 times 11. And that's going to be 2.75. So then it says what we're going to do, this is for Minitab, is it's going to take the second item in our list, which was the number 9, the second item, plus, I'm going to take the third item, the difference between the third and the second, and multiply it times that decimal portion of 0.75. And that's going to be my quartile 1. And that ends up being 14.25. Okay, now I'm going to run this again because remember we went back to the original data set that I started the video with. And I'm looking at those quartiles. And you see it's going to get the 14.25. So it's doing an interpolation here. So quartile 3 is going to do something similar. For Q3, here's what it's doing. It's taking, remember that separates the bottom 75% of data from the top 25% of data. So we're going to take that 0.75 times n plus 1. And we're going to figure out what that is. Now that's not going to be a whole number here. It's going to be 8.25. So for Q3, what it's going to do is it's going to look at the 8th entry in the list, which is 46, plus the difference between the 9th and 8th entries, and multiply that times 0.75. Oh, sorry, 0.25. That's our decimal there. The decimal left over there. So 8th entry, because, 8.25 is between 8 and 9, right? 8th entry plus the difference between the 8th and the 9th. So we're adding an increment to that 8th entry. And we're incrementing by that decimal decimal there. And I got 46.5 when I did that, which is where Minitab got that 46.5. So how could you get around that if you wanted to use Minitab to find quartiles? Well, you could recopy those columns. And then you could have it find the median of that lower half of data. So we could go stats, basic statistics, descriptive. That would be C3. And then I would want the median. And then we would know that that median would be that quartile for that lower half. The quartile 1 by Triola's definition is the median of the lower half of data. And then we could do the same thing for the upper half. If we had a bigger data set, we could sort the data set, put the top half in one list, bottom half in another list, and then find the median of the lower half and the median of the upper half. So that's how we could get around that. But that is how you use Minitab to compute some descriptive statistics.